on YouTube where we are doing a strategy session, how to strategize your preparation for CAT 2020 in the context of the fact that we have already done CAT 2019. We have recently experienced CAT 19, and based on our experience of CAT 19 and also drawing from our experience of the past years of CAT 18, 17, 16, and so on, we now have pretty much a lot of information about what CAT does in the QA section, and we're going to look at strategizing your CAT QA preparation. You are with me, Arun Sharma, and uh, just a small word of promotion for Unacademy. Unacademy Plus is a unique program or unique subscription model where if you join the Plus program, you get access to live classes and recorded classes of top educators, and based on whichever subscription you like to take, whether you're going for the CAT subscription or the UPSC subscription or any other exam that you're looking at, banking, SSC, etc. There's different subscription models, and for each subscription you have a battery of great teachers, great educators who are amongst the selected educators on Academy Plus, and they will teach you the best methods, the best techniques. I'm one of the under the CAT segment. I'm one of the Plus educators, and backed up by 15, 20 more top-end educators who will help you prepare for the CAT. And subscriptions plans are available for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, and even 12 months. And if you do decide to take the subscription, please use my promo code. The promo code is Arun M Sharma. You will get a further 10% discount on the already existing discounted fees of Unacademy Plus if you do that. So I look forward to seeing some of you, a lot of you actually, on the Unacademy Plus platform, uh, attending the live classes with us. Now, with that brief starting point of what we wanted to talk to you about, the promotional aspect of Unacademy, I want to now come to the issue at hand. And the issue at hand is essentially CAT 20 prep, and specifically the QA prep of CAT 20, and what we need to do, and what should be the plan, and what should be the strategy for CAT 20 QA. So broadly speaking, and specifically from the learnings of CAT 17, 18, 19, what kind of inputs, what kind of decisions we can take with respect to our CAT 20 prep, and what are the critical elements of the strategy. Because if you get a strategy right, why this strategy session is going to be important is because if you get a strategy right, the next step is just execution. And if you get your strategy correct and you can execute properly, you end up getting great outcomes or great results, which is what you are preparing for. So just give me a small 1 second window. I just need to close this door. There's a lot of background noise. Right. So coming back to the issue. Now, basically, if you look at the strategy, the first aspect of the strategy that you decide is the breakdown of the portion. So I would think that the best way to break down the portion is going to be what I have done in my QA for CAT book. I have divided the portion into 5 parts, 6 parts actually, in terms of the chapter names and chapter breakdowns. Block 1 is number systems and progressions, 2 chapters. Block 2 is average and allegation. Block 3 is ratio and proportion, percentage, time and work, time, speed, distance, profit and loss, interest. Block 4 is geometry and mensuration. Block 5 is functions, inequalities, logs, and quadratic equations. And block 6 is permutation combination, probability, and set theory. Now, if you look at the CAT-18 paper, the CAT-19 paper, the CAT-17 paper, look at the trends of these papers, you'll realize that while preparing, the way we should organize our blocks should be one preparation area, second preparation area, third preparation area, fourth preparation area, and fifth preparation area. So you're dividing your prep zone into 5 different preparation areas. That's your basic target. And based on these 5 different preparation areas, you are creating a plan to make sure that you master each of these areas. Right? Now, for each of these areas, each of these 5 preparation areas, so the boil down, I hope you've taken this down. And anyway, these blocks are there in my book. Only difference between the blocks and the preparation is that block 2, block 3 in the book, in terms of the way I have structured the book, versus for preparation zone, because this is the complete arithmetic area, you should think of this as one block of chapters and attack it in the same way as each other. And this is completely word based. Number system and progression require different level of skills, different kind of skills. Geometry mensuration requires different kinds of skills. Functions, inequalities, and logs and equations and quadratic equations require different kinds of skills. And PNC, probability, and set theory also require different kinds of skills. So your skill differences and the kinds of skills that are required for each of these areas is different. And hence 2 and 3 can be taken together. So broadly, your preparation looks like this then. Prep area 1, prep area 2. This consists of 2 chapters. Prep area 2 consists of 8 chapters. Prep area 3, geometry, mensuration, also coordinate geometry. So this consists of 3 chapters. Prep area 4, functions, inequalities, logs, and equations. This consists of 4 chapters. And prep area 5, PNC, probability, and set theory consists of 3 chapters. So you're basically preparing 5 areas and 20 chapters. That's what your challenge is. Now what will happen is on each of these chapters, skill wise, you have to move north. So if you look at the grading of the skills, chapter wise, and hence block wise or preparation area wise, if you look at the grading of his skills, the grading of his skills can be basically divided, this box can basically be divided into 4 or 5 parts. Whether your solving skills in that area are poor, whether your solving skills in that area are average, whether your solving skills in that area are, or in that chapter are good, or before I go to good, we can put an above average. whether your solving skills in that area are good, and one more level, whether your solving skills in the area are great. So your whole idea is to move yourself up this ladder. The objective of preparation, when you are studying any chapter, you need to know the objective clearly, why you are studying that chapter. So the objective of prep is very clear, should be very clear to you. The objective of prep is to move yourself up this ladder from wherever you are. So when you enter any area, I'm not saying that you'll be poor at it. It will depend on how good or how much you have uh, prepared that area beforehand or not. So you might, in some area you might start from poor. You might start from poor, while in other areas you might even start from an above average level based on what you have studied in quants in the past and what your level is of your school maths and how comfortable you were with your school mathematics. So you might belong to starting blue level, a starting red level, a starting green level. Some of you might even be a starting pink, starting the level already from a good zone, which means you are in the top 5,000 people of who, or in terms of ability, of who can solve that kind of question or that chapter well. So this would be your starting points. So based on whichever starting point you are at, your preparation for every block will go through 3 or 4 phases, or every preparation area, your preparation will go through 3 broad phases. The first phase of preparation, and that can happen, you can do that preparation on your own. You can use some of my books to do them, or you can also join Unacademy Plus kind of platforms to actually help you with the preparation. And as you prepare yourself here, your whole focus of preparation has to be to take yourself up the ladder. So the first step of preparation, whichever area you're looking at and whichever level you're starting from, is going to be concepts, getting all the concepts right. So when you're doing the concepts, there are 3 dimensions to what you do to the concepts. One dimension to what you do to the concept. Concept might be reviewed. Concept might be repaired, or whatever conceptual work you're doing. You might be reviewing concepts, you might be repairing concepts, or you might also be installing concepts. There's some concepts you don't know at all. You're installing it for the first time in your life. So depending on your starting level, you might have a preponderance of just reviewing. If you're starting from good, that means you're just reviewing the concepts. But if you're starting from poor or average or thereabouts, you might be installing a lot of concepts that you've never known in your life. So whatever you do in each of these chapters, so for example, if you pick up number systems chapter, you are either reviewing, repairing, or installing concepts. So there'll be concepts that you know, HCF, LCF, for example, you might know it pretty well. So in that case, when you are studying that concept, you are studying it for the perspective of repair, of review. But if you know it, if you've known it in school, but you've forgotten the nuances of it, then you might be in a repair situation, right? And an install situation will be if you have never heard of something like that. So, for example, a lot of people have never heard of the remainder theorem. A lot of people have never heard of the unit digit logic or the number of factors and number of zeros kind of logic. So, in that case, when you study those for the first time, it will be an installation of those. Now, once you do the concepts, the second part of in fact concepts के साथ second part नहीं है, उसी का part B है, 1B, is what I describe as initial problem solving. So what you do in every concept is you keep going through The first 25, 50, 75, 100 questions on the concept, on the chapter, right? So you first, so if, for example, if you studied the remainder theorem in number systems, you might want to go through 50 questions on numbers on remainder theorem to be sure of what are the steps required to get through those the questions on that. So this is step one of your preparation. I told you your preparation is going to go through three steps. Step two of your preparation, this step one of the preparation. I hope that's clear to everyone who's watching this. And typically, this part will require around 3 to 4 months to completely do across the complete areas. 3 months is a little bit rushed. 4 months is ideal. If you want to do it in a relaxed and deeper fashion, you can take 5 to 6 months for this also. But unfortunately, if you just do this much, you will not. You might be able to level up yourself, your abilities by one level. Wherever you started, you might be up by one level or average, and you want to reach at least good. This work will not suffer until date. You will be doing that again so that you get complete control of it. So, broadly, talking about strategy of prep, second dimension of what we are trying to look at is the preparation area 2 for you. So prep area 2 consists of 6 chapters. Prep area 2 consists of 6 chapters. In fact, 8 chapters rather. The chapters of prep area 2 include averages, allegation, percentage, ratio proportion, profit and loss, time and work, interest, that's 7, and time, speed, distance. In my book, you'll find these two. In my quants book, you'll find these two as block 2 and everything else is block 3. So the number of questions you should typically do in initial problem solving in average is 150. Allegation is around 75. Percentage is around 150. Ratio proportion is around 150. Profit and loss is around 100. Again 100 to 150. These are not exact measurements as you can imagine. Time and work is around 100. Interest is around 150. Time, speed, distance will be around 250. And the follow-up solving, the problem solving for exposure, 100 questions on averages, you don't need it here. 100 questions on percentages, 150 questions on ratio proportion, you don't need it here much, you don't need it here much, you don't need it here much, and maybe 150 questions on time, speed, distance. So if you look at this overall, the initial problem solving of this, because there are 8 chapters and you are approximately doing 200 questions on every chapter, this will be upper limit 1500 questions. The lower limit, of course, 375, 525, 625, 725, 875, around 1000 questions, and then you're adding 500 questions more. So 1000 to 1500 questions should sort out arithmetic for you. And the best part of arithmetic is once you know it for every exam. That's the second area. The third big area, prep area 3, geometry, mensuration, and coordinate geometry. Coordinate geometry, around 50 questions should suffice. You don't need a second line. You don't need problem solving for exposure. Mensuration, 150 questions with 100 questions added. Geometry, 200 questions with 150 questions added. So around 600 questions ka block hai preparation area 3. So if you keep adding 750, 1500, 600, it boils down to 2850. Block 5, 4 chapters, functions, logs, equations including quadratic equations and inequalities. 200 questions with follow-up 150 questions, 150 questions with follow-up 150 questions, 75 questions with follow-up 50 questions, 100 questions with follow-up 50 questions, 525 questions here, and around 400 questions here. So somewhere between 700 to 900 questions should do this for you in block 5. So if you add 900 questions to this, you are reaching 3750 questions as your overall target. And once you reach that number, the only area you're left with is preparation area 5. And preparation area 5 may you need to do approximately permutation combination 200 questions, no follow-up required here. Probability 150 questions, no follow-up required here. And set theory 100 questions with a follow-up of maybe 50 questions, or maybe 75 with a follow-up of 50. This area is a small area. So broadly, if you look at it, this is around 500 questions more. So you are basically targeting around 4200 to 4500 questions overall. And if you look at a 300-day perspective, it is just 14 questions per day. Please remember, 90% of your learning is going to happen inside the questions, and hence you cannot be over invested in your concepts. You have to focus on questions and look at how you can maximize your